Hello. Can everybody hear me all right? And hello, Corgi Trader. Hi, how are you doing? How's your morning going? I'm gonna get right into it. So let me know if you guys can see my screen. You should be able to, and let me know how the voice, how it sounds. I don't know if it's too high or too low. You guys are just gonna have to let me know that, and so I'll be able to adjust it once I know, once I can see how that is for you guys. Hopefully it's loud enough. If not, just let me know. So, as of right now, can you guys hear me? Let me see. Actually, make sure you guys can actually hear me. Let me make sure. Because if you can't hear me, then that doesn't make any sense. Hello. Yeah, you guys can hear me. Okay, cool. So, as I was looking at yesterday, I was thinking that potentially we could go to the upside overall just for the week. But what you guys did not see was that these were a little bit too clean for me. That's not something that I was looking at or looking for. In terms of buying up here, would have to come down. We have completely just demolished that and had to have this gap here right now. So right now I'm looking for to see if we're gonna try to attempt to take out this sell side down here, and also the high Corgi Trader. Can you hear me? Um, Down to this sell side, these daily lows. So we have had this large 5 minute gap in the way. What's good, teacher? What's good? Okay, it's too low. Let me see if I can turn it up a little bit. Let me see if I can turn it up a little bit just so I don't. Let's see. Is this better? Let me know if this is better. Yeah, let me know if that's better. Because that would be cool. But what's good, teacher? It's been a minute. A bit more, but better. Okay, let me see. I can do it a little. Hold up. Is that better? Is this better? So I can leave everything the same for next time. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. We're good now. Okay, so pretty much what we're looking at is potentially from where price is right now. Currently, we could probably hold up. I have these speakers on and they're kind of blowing. They're kind of I hear them. Okay, cool. So right now, potentially, if you're looking down to the downside, as I've said earlier, I'm not interested in trading or taking live funds because of where we are in terms of we're at the end of the year. That's not something I'm very interested in. So for me, I will be paper trading. Next year, I'll start with the funded account that I have with TopStep. But right now, this is going to be paper trading. But again, I always want to go back into this, that this is not financial advice. Like, I'm not a licensed financial advisor. This is just my opinion on how I read the market and from the learning and teachings that I've gained from ICT. So this is pretty much how I'm looking at it. So, I started off thinking that these are the past trades that you guys have seen on my Instagram. So this isn't something new. I didn't take anything outside of that. So again, on my story, I put that I potentially wanted to see price go higher. I'm not in the business of calling tops. I don't really want to call this as a top of the market. Kind of want the market to show me that that's what it wants to do. So what you guys didn't see is if I wanted to buy, I wanted to see it come down here into this 4 hour gap and see if we could get some support. But as you've seen, we've completely just erased that. So that idea of potentially looking for upside at this moment right now has been put on the sideline. So I'm not interested in looking for that currently right now. So in terms of, and hopefully this doesn't happen before pre-market, but it looks like that it's going to happen just from where we are. And I have other screens that you guys just don't see. I just kind of keep this as clean as possible to try to give you an just something that you guys can look at. It's not too confusing for you guys. So at least I'll explain it a little bit on the other screens. I have like the new week opening gap, the new day opening gap, if you guys are aware of that. The new week opening gap is from the closing price that closes on Friday to the new price that opens up on Sunday. That's what the new week opening gap is. So it's the price change. Do we gap higher? Do we gap lower? Then you have the new day opening gap, which is at the close of every day and then the open of the next day. So that's the same thing. Do we gap higher? Do we gap lower? I have that on one screen. I also have an SMT chart, if any of you guys know what that is. So if there's a difference in, which there is here, let me see if I can pull it up and show you guys visually what that looks like. Trying to do this all before the market open, but I think that we'll be able to squeeze that in. So we don't need the same symbol. So this is going to be ES. So if you look here, we have SMT. Go to a, so notice how this high, sorry, it's right here, I'm tripping. This high gets taken out there. And if you look on this side of the chart, on the right side of the chart, you see how this same high does not get taken out there. It trades lower, it doesn't trade up as high. That's SMT. That's probably one of my favorite things to look for in a trade, because it lets me know that there's underlying weakness in one of them. They should all be moving the same and all doing the same thing. The fact that they're not doing the same thing lets me know that there's something underlying the market that I may or not be aware of. So that's how I look at that. And then I just have the opening range gap, basically the closing price from the last trading day to the opening price of the next trading day. So it looks like we're probably not going to get this. We'll see. We'll see at the time at 9:30. I think it's going to run pretty much early at 9:30, if I'm going to be honest. I think it's going to run straight down. I don't think we're going to get a lot of retracement from where we are. And so if you ever also want to know what time frame I'm trading on, if you look at the bottom in the middle, it lets you know, for instance, this is the 2-minute time frame. And so the reason why I'm using the 2-minute time frame, it's a little bit more cleaner for me. And when you have multiple fair value gaps, you want to go to a time frame higher so you can pick out the one that's cleaner. So you know which one you want to choose. So right here, if we go to, we're going to start on the 1-minute chart. You see how there's so many fair value gaps here? I don't want to choose that time frame to trade on. If I go to 2-minute chart, still too many fair value gaps. 3 minutes, still too many fair value gaps. 4 minutes, still too many. The 5-minute. Okay, so how do I go from the 5-minute down to the 2-minute chart, right? So if you're trading and I'm looking for a price to trade lower, if I want to see price trade lower, you want to see it hold in the lower portion of the higher time frame array. So if you have a 5-minute array, I want to look for fair value gaps that are on the lower time frame, that are in the lower portion. It doesn't mean that it can't come up here. You just don't want to see it come up there. I want to see it stay down here. I don't want to see it trade higher. So if I go to the 4-minute chart, you do have this one. That's fine. You can continue to refine it down to which fair value gap. Also notice the bodies. Notice how the bodies are unable to even close up in here. That's a good sign for us. 3-minute too, you can continuously still, refine it. The 2-minute chart, just for me, made just a little bit more sense. I just wanted to have it there. So this is, again, look at the bodies. Not able to close in the upper portion or to even stay up there. So that's a good sign. And I had this fair value gap outlined as well, because I want to see how we react here. Remember, there's a volume imbalance here. So the true gap would be here. And again, you don't want to see them start trading in the upper portion, but if they do, you want to see it leave it open. You don't want to see the bodies overlapping. It doesn't mean that if it does do that it's not a good fair value gap. It's just not the best one that you would want to see specifically in your trade. So this is currently what I'm looking at. If I felt a little bit more confident that we may not go up a little bit more, I would have taken this. I just don't want to right now. I don't feel as confident in this right now. And if it comes down here and takes us out from this position, then that's fine. I'd rather wait for something that is a little bit more, I have a little bit more data and more information. Also, we have to be aware of the opening gap for the trading or for the next day. So we have a large gap because we have traded down. Remember that we closed, you can look. So I'm gonna just put a line where we are. So we're down here. I'm going to go to the regular trading hours. That's where we are. This is where we close. So that's a large gap. And when you have a large gap like that, it can tend to not close, but it can also tend to just run if there's news. So like if there's an NFP or there's something like that, that would signal that you're going to be looking for, movement that would come aggressively, but we don't have that today. And we have FOMC tomorrow. So for me, today is not like a day where I'm like really, really excited to do stuff or push the button or make it something that it's not. Like, I'm just going to be 100% honest with you. That's not what I'm looking for. But what we do have today is, let's say at 9:30 it runs down here and then starts to consolidate. And then we have between the hours of 10 and 11 a reversal occur. We could look for it to trade higher if it can, and to trade up to 25% of the opening gap range that's there. That's a scenario that we could look for if it in fact runs lower, this is where I'm believing that it's most likely going to trade down to. That's the area that I'm looking for from where we are in price right now. So that's how I'm looking at this morning and looking at today. Again, if you guys have any questions, I will answer them the best that I can. And obviously, if trade is going on or something, that's probably what we'll be more focused on. But right now, it's kind of pre-market, pre-session. So if you guys have any questions about anything, I'm down to answer them. And again, I just want to make sure the volume is good and you guys can hear me, because I can see the chat, so it's not like I can't see if you guys say something. But I just want to make sure everything's good. But yeah, so looking for sell side liquidity down here at this daily low. But again, we have a huge gap opening. So I want to be aware of that as well. And there are specific rules and criteria for when the gap is large. So if it's 120, I think it's 120 plus, we're looking for the gap potentially not to fill. If it's 75 to 100, we can potentially trade both ways, but you have to have an understanding of what exactly you're looking for. And I kind of talked about that on the last YouTube video about why I took the trade that when I did and why I did it. Then also you have, if it's less than like 20, you're probably going to get a very, very consolidated range, and they're going to have to look and wait to trade until the PM session. So those are the times that you're going to want to be looking to trade for that. So that's kind of how I'm looking at today. This is kind of what's going on. So we'll see what we get here. I'm trying to make it at least large enough so you guys can see it and that it is clean enough. So again, large opening range gap. Again, this is why I did not trust this right now. And all we've done is pretty much take out sell side. Very, very few runs on buy side. Left those equal highs kind of there. It looks a little bit clean above. So I wouldn't be surprised if they try to run it up here, to be honest. And I believe that this is the London. No, it's not the London high. This would be like pre-market session buy side. Where is it? There. So pre-market session buy side. That's kind of what's sitting and resting up there. I mean, if I do see something, I will press the button, but right now I don't. So I'm not interested in what I'm seeing right now. Nothing there. I just want to make sure that everything else is looking the way that I'd want to see it look. Yes, we have a new day opening gap that pretty much formed at these highs right here. So we'll see what ends up happening there. But again, we also have this low that's down here, and then we have the new week opening gap from the previous week that's down there as well. So those are a couple levels that just have to make sure we have in our understanding, and it's roughly around 25,635. That's the area down here. So we'll see what we end up getting. But again, the 5-minute gap, that's the one that we're mainly focused on. This one. But we want to see price, if bearish, stay below in this section, not able to reach up here and to trade lower to see if we can attack this daily low. Now, what I do need to check, and I don't think it would be close, I need to check to see if ES has done that. I don't think so. Yeah, not even close. Because ES is the stronger one out of the two, as you can see. Look how close we are to this low versus ES is nowhere close. That's a difference. That's a telltale sign there a little bit. And look how this is also in a gap as well. So yeah, I'm thinking potentially on NQ we could run down here and may not see that same softness in ES. So that's something that I am keeping an eye out on. So we have what, 3 minutes or 2 minutes at this point until the opening bell. Again, we have a large discount gap, so I'm aware of that, and we just have to make sure you're not going in and selling. So initially you just don't want to go in and sell off of a large discount gap. Everyone wants to do that. Everyone wants to try to chase it. I'm not willing to chase it like that, especially with no news. Now, if we had, let's say we had NFP 8:30, NFP has already done its thing, then with a large gap, okay, cool, I'm expecting it to come down here with some speed quickly, not sitting there waiting. So there's certain criteria that we look for, and a day like today, especially ahead of FOMC minutes tomorrow, is just not the day to try to be pushing things or trying to push your edge, because you will dull that edge, and then you will be upset at the end looking at just chop and understanding that that's not what you want to be in. Those are not days that you want to risk a lot of money. That's why even if I were to take a trade today, it'd be like 1 contract, maybe 2 contract. Even this is demo trading, it doesn't matter to me. I treat it just as if I'm trading my live funded account, because it doesn't make sense to me to practice something or have this on my normal contract size when I wouldn't even do that in my live account. So that's how I'm looking at it today. This is what I'm looking at. And so we're waiting. We have about, 30 seconds here. The market will open, and we'll see about how the range is. We'll see what they've done. What they've already done is taken all out sell side. They have done no buy side. So we could get a run on buy side and come down here. We could never come down here and then trade higher. That's I'm not here to try to be right, because when I was trading like that years ago, I was trying to be focused on being right so much that it prohibited me from taking the really, really good trades, because I just thought everything wouldn't work. Everything had to be perfect. Okay, so here we are. This is the gap that we were expecting price to hold. Now let's see if we can run down here. Right, that's what we were looking for. To see if price will speedily run down here if we can. I don't know if we're gonna get a chance to get in, but we'll watch and see what happens here, because we're focused mainly on the first presented fair value gap at this point from where it's at, but I'm not trying to sit here and rush and get in. So right now, the gap that we have today, why is it not showing? Oh, this shows at the end of the day. Let's see. So the gap that we have is 161. So that's a pretty large gap. So this is actually pretty cool. So the consequent encroachment of that gap is right here. So pretty much at let's say 25,790. So what we could potentially be looking for is a run up a little bit higher. If this in fact can get taken out, which is what I believe should happen, I believe that it should want to seek this sell side from how close we are. If we leave it, that's a telltale sign. But I think that we should trade down here and try to want to clean up some of this, especially if ES is showing no willingness to do that. But again, we're not looking just to sell right away. That's not what we want. That's not what we're trying to do. We want to wait for it to show us a clear direction, a clear sign of what exactly it wants to do, and not rush in there. I would rather potentially, and again, this is all potential, buy between 10 and 11. If that sets up, this is when I'd be looking to buy. If it goes up there and does whatever it needs to do, that's fine. I'm not really looking for anything before then, just because of the gap. I'd rather just wait and see what's left. Because remember, at 10 o'clock we have the silver bullet hour. So I'm not trying to get caught in guessing games. I want it to be like so clear, because what I've noticed is when you're too quick to enter trades or too quick to do things, it's usually the lack of impatience, but then you end up getting caught in stuff that you don't really want to be caught in. But the market, what I realized through back testing and through looking at things, the market will not hide itself from you when it's very clear. It can't hide itself. It's going to have to show its hand eventually. And so if you wait for it to show its hand versus trying to predict that it's going to show its hand, you tend to have better trades. You tend to have cleaner entries. So right now, this would be the first presented fair value gap at 932. So we're just going to mark that out. This is the first presented. There. So what we could see, well, sorry, it hasn't fully developed yet, but I would assume that it would now. Since this hasn't closed, this have to close, then it would be the first presented fair value gap. But I'm assuming that it will. Again, it hasn't fully done what it has to do yet. We still have 18 seconds, so it could overlap this completely, and then it wouldn't be there. I'd have to delete this. But as of right now, that's where it is. And so again, if we're looking for a downside potentially to be hit first, then around 10 o'clock, if we can get a reversal, we would look. There we go. So now here's the first presented fair value gap. Look at the response off of it. 934. And let's see if it can trade up to minimum. This is the lower quadrant. So 25. So it's roughly here is a lower quadrant. We have a lot of buy side here. But again, I'm not looking to buy this right now. But again, you have a lot of layered liquidity here. You have it here as well. And then you have this down here. So let's just, and this is all below the, so let me just do this real quick. So all of this is, all of this liquidity here is below the mean, or the middle of the gap of the opening range gap is at 25,788. So it's pretty much here, like where my cursor is. You see a buy side here, buy side here, buy side here. And remember in the beginning, talked about how all they've done is run sell side. They haven't done any run on buy side. I would have liked for them to see them do this first. If they had come down here and done this first, then I would have been keen to come up here. But again, I'm just being patient, waiting. I don't want to rush into anything. But here's the first presented for value gap, and we'll see if they run this, and this buy side liquidity right here, which would be the pre-market kind of high. And then you have London and stuff up there. But again, I'm in no rush to get in, no rush to press any buttons. Just going to be patient. I'm looking at 10 o'clock. So pretty much what I'm looking for right now is silver bullet. I want it to kind of flush itself out a little bit more for myself. And then I'll look at silver bullet type entries. But as we saw, the first presented fair value gap gave a good, nice signal. We bounce from that, take out this high, and then right, so we've hit the 25% level already. The next level would be consequent encroachment of the gap, which is above this buy side, so that's why I had that outlined and noted, and it should hit that. That's what it should do. But again, this is why directly in the morning, when you see that big gap, especially with no news, why I was not looking to sell. That's why I didn't want to just go in and start selling it. So now this buy side has been ran out. So first presented fair value gap up to there. So for me personally, I'm gonna screenshot that, and I'll go back in and do data back testing later on, and going back and noting, okay, I saw this trade up to here, here, and here. We had this size of a gap, and whatnot. That's how I would look at all this. So right now we're trading up pretty high right now and pretty deep into the gap. And again, selling right away is not what you want to do. Not what you want to do. Because as you see, if I tried to sell, or if you tried to sell in this gap, or even down here, you just got wrecked. Again, you just have to be patient and just wait. So again, there's let's say again, like I was saying, I was looking for buying. This is what I wanted to do. There's too many fair value gaps here right now. So I need to go to a higher time frame where it's a little bit more clear for me. Where it's a little bit more, do we take out London yet? No. Well, we're close. We did pretty much. Yeah, we pretty much took out London. So now that we've run that, London for me is going to be between the two. So that technically is, for me, is not the London high. Yeah, so we haven't taken out London yet, which means that there's still a potential opportunity to trade a little bit higher. We're also trading back into the opening range gap of Tuesday, December 23rd. So that's also there in the last 3 days. But it looks like London high is going to get taken out. We can stay on a higher time frame. That's fine. So this buy side's been gone. Does anyone have any questions up to this point, or anything that you kind of want to talk about or have? But the biggest thing is going to be patience and waiting. That's going to be your best bet when it comes to trading. The more patient you are, the quicker you will reach where you want to go, in whatever fashion that is, with funded accounts, live account, the trader you want to be. All of that comes with patience. That was like the biggest thing the biggest lesson that I've learned, but also just in general. Just allow it to show itself, allow it to come down to areas where you want to enter, allow it to not chase or not rush to get in, and you'll see how much better your trading will be when you are patient and wait. And another key thing that I do as well is, like, if it's very choppy or very confusing and I just don't know, like, let's say which direction or what I'm looking for, the first thing I want to do is I go to a 5-minute chart and I wait for fair value gaps to form. ICT had talked about this. I don't remember which video it was. You may be able to find it out there, but it was in the 5-minute and 15-minute chart. If there are no 5-minute or 15-minute fair value gaps that are clear that you can see, then don't do anything. And so if I'm like ever like that and it's too much on the lower time frame and I'm like, I'm not really sure, 5-minute chart immediately, do I see a fair value gap form? If it's yes, okay, cool. If it's no, then don't do anything, especially after I've lost. If I've lost and I'm like, I don't know, 5-minute chart, and I just wait. Then the 5-minute chart will show itself, and especially if it can couple up with the 15-minute chart, you're golden. You're really, really golden. So here, again, we have this gap down here. Do I think it's plausible to take this to come all the way down here to come back up here? That to me would make no sense, but it can happen. I would expect, like, if we get a little bit if we trade a little bit lower down into this gap, or if we don't, do we have lower time frame gaps inside of this as well that we could use to trade up higher if it doesn't take this out, which I'm assuming it might beforehand just because of how close we are. But again, what time is it? 9:40. So you got to remember the macro time comes in soon. So you have 9:50 to 10:10. So that could also be a catalyst of us running these highs beforehand. But again, we just have to sit and wait. You just don't want to be in a rush to do anything in the market. Allow it to. I'd rather miss a trade than rush into a trade and take a loss, an unnecessary loss that's not even needed. right? There's no need for that. Let's see. I find that cool. So 75% of the gap is literally right above this. So it'd be like a 3/4 closure if price trades pretty much above this. So that's a good sign. And I don't know if we're going to get a complete closure. We may or may not, but we'll see what ends up happening here with this. Again, a lot of this is just based off of, you know, the teachings of ICT, but also just going back and looking at price and seeing what happens around certain times and how it tends to react, right? There was probably SMT here. I would assume that there was SMT there at the 930, maybe. We can go look at it. We can go check it out. Let's go back to, what is this, the 3-minute chart? Let's see. So no real SMT here either. So again, they're both moving in the same direction. That's good. But again, not in a rush ever to take a trade. You want to be very, very slow when you're taking a trade. Slow to enter. And if you realize it's not going in your direction, quick to exit. So you're slow to enter, quick to exit. Most people are quick to enter and slow to exit, which is the opposite. And that's why you end up holding on to things you shouldn't hold on to, and you're quick in to get into a trade that hasn't even fully developed yet. And then you're sitting in stuff or it just runs right against you, and then now you're upset or whatever the case may be. So again, we've already traded up to 50% here. So no technical SMT yet. No, nothing that would make me say, okay, now it's time to short down to this if I believe that it's going to do that. I want to see if we could take out London high. That would be my target. But we have to, again, wait. I'm not going to sit here and rush in and buy. I just want to wait and see kind of what's happening. And again, I told you at this point, for me, 10 o'clock is what I'm looking for. So the silver bullet. So I'm not looking to take anything before then, just because of the large gap, and it pretty much already has run up to 50%. So it's hands off until 10. So once 10 hits, then we can start looking to see, okay, what's happened, what's left, where are they, what have they taken out, what haven't they taken out, and then we just go from there, because that'll allow us to get an idea and an understanding, allow the first 30 minutes, the opening range, to do its thing. Especially with people that wanted to chase this down here. They're not feeling too good right now because they saw the sell, we're right below this low, then they tried to do it. Yeah, appreciate it, Tony. Yeah, I think it's just like you have to have some type of rules and criteria. I think what ends up usually happening with a lot of people is they go into the market with their rules, and then they get into the market, and it's so this is how I would say it. They go into the market and say, this and this has to happen. Then as soon as the market starts to do things, then they start going to this or, and they start doing or, which then they have multiple things. So it could be an order block, or it could be this, or it could be this, or so then that gets them into this thing where now everything is a possibility, and that ends up usually hurting them in the long run. That's just kind of like my perspective and what has happened to me. And so I try to not get into that and try to just wait for the best opportunities to come, and that's the ones that follow the rules. The ones that don't follow the rules that you take and end up winning, those are the ones that come back and haunt you in the long run. They like really, yeah, exactly. So if you come into the market already with that understanding and saying like, okay, if this doesn't happen, then I'm not doing anything and I'm okay with leaving. That's when you're going to start to have that understanding, and that profitability is going to come because the discipline is going to be built, and you're not just going to be taking random trades that necessarily don't make any sense. So right now, okay, so we have a 5-minute gap, which I like. But again, I just want to take this out the way. But again, I can't take anything until 10 o'clock, so we're going to wait to see what happens. Now, let's say we completely like run through this, and it's 10 o'clock. Like we just run through this. We show no willingness to go anywhere. Then potentially looking for inverse fair value gap. Also, what I think is very key when you're trading. See, a lot of people they look for what other people look for, and that's where they struggle. So for me, I don't always see inverse fair value gaps. My strategy that I like the most, or like the best, I will say, for me, is a stop run and usually a breaker. So they usually go in hand. That's what makes sense to me. But like for you, it could be inverse fair value gaps. You see them clearly. It could be if you trade supply and demand, whatever pattern that you see that makes sense to you, that's the one that you focus on and you look for. And then you look for other things that are around it. And so whatever pops out at you, and ICT talks about this all the time, whatever pops out at you, that's your model. So if it is fair value gaps, that's your model. If you do understand and take turtle soups, that's your model. But when you understand that like turtle soups are literally price trading into a fair value gap, that's all it is. Every time price trades down into a fair value gap, it's a turtle soup every single time, because this is a swing low. So you just have a swing low and you expect it to expand away. So that's the criteria. That's what you're kind of looking for. That's something that I learned. I thought that was just like insanely cool, in my opinion. So again, nothing here. Okay, we're not taking any of this. So Tony, I was in 2021 mentorship students. So I've been in there. I paid for his stuff in 2021. So I have all that stuff. And so I spent a lot of hours watching his stuff. I couldn't even tell you how many hours I spent watching his stuff. But I don't know if you've ever watch his normal content or I think he puts it in there. He talks about people that watch it like Netflix. That was me. And it just slowed down my learning very quickly. And I tried to, you know how he says like, don't do these things? I was doing everything he said don't do. I was trying to trade while I was learning. I watched his stuff like Netflix and thought that it looked so easy, so I can just turn on the charts and go do it. Obviously, everyone who's ever tried this knows that that's not the case ever. It's never like that. And so I've done all his like mentorship content, the 12 months. I've done his like in 2020, I did like his sniper series. I did that one. I've done, what else? Other one. I've done his 2022 mentorship. I think I did his 2024, and then now I'm watching his 2025. So what helped me was the backtesting part and understanding. So once I had the basic concept of how he looks at price, I then was able to piece together all the things that I learned. Because what ended up happening was I tried to combine 50,000 things together, and then I had to have all these things that have to come together to have this model. You have to remember when you're building a model that less is more. So the less that you have in terms of, okay, the criteria is it needs to come up, it needs to come down, it needs to do this. So if that's your criteria and you're like, it needs to happen around these times, that's easier than saying that it needs to have this, but then also have this, but then be worrying about the new week opening gap, and then also worrying about the opening range gap, and then if you're doing all of that, you can't completely take a trade because you have too many variables. So you need to have less variables, a model with less variables that's going to help you be able to look at this completely and as a whole, that then allow you to execute when it happens. Because what ends up happening is you have too many variables. Yeah, so I like trading around macros. So macro times for me are very, very important. I like that. I like trading around macros, especially when prices like this, all right? If we look at it in terms of a regular trading hours, not much really has happened here, right? We just traded up to 50%, then we're done here. So now for me, honestly, I'm looking down here. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I want to see us trade down here if we can inverse this. But again, I have to wait till 10 o'clock. So there's really nothing for me to do. We've traded up to midpoint of this, right? Let me just show that. Trade up to midpoint of this. We failed to hit London high. Okay, cool. So that means London high is probably going to stay until hit this out. So if that's the case, then for me, again, I still have to wait till 10 o'clock. Nothing has changed about that part. I don't want to rush to get in. I don't want to do anything like that. So I want to outline this gap. Do we have a? We do. Okay, so there's a volume imbalance there. So now the gap's here. So now I'm looking at this as an inverse gap, right? Inverse fair value gap. We do have this down here. So 5-minute chart would confirm. So then now I'm looking at when it hits 10 o'clock, I want to see, is there something that I can take a trade off of that would make sense to go down to the downside, if it can in fact in the 5 minutes close below this. Now, do we see anything? Remember, we're going to outline this first, present the fair value gap. Do we see anything that aligns with this understanding or this idea that price could come down and take out this sell side? Now, if we don't see that, again, like I said, I didn't think it would be necessary for it to come back down here and then trade higher. But again, it can do that. It can do whatever it wants. And just being okay with being wrong is also a great quality to have when trading. So our macro has already started, because you can be right and lose money. You can be wrong and make money. That's just like, that's the name of this game at this point, right? So I'd rather be whatever and make money. I don't want to be right and I don't want to be right and wrong. Because if I try to force this right now, if I try to force it, it's not going to go too well. I can promise you that. I'm sure all of us have tried to force trades. Like, no, I know it's going to go higher. I know it's going to go higher. And then so you buy in and do all this stuff and you're just getting wrecked. So right now we are seeing some support of, or resistance, or it being held by bearish arrays. So that's a very, very good sign for that. And because we have this up here, failure up here. We've had so far this react here, react. And now let's see what this gap does up here. And especially if we're unable to really trade deep in this, this would be what he calls an institutional order flow entry drill. So right now we have completed. I don't like that as much, but again, that's why we wait until 10. I don't like that it has done that, especially if you're looking down here. You want to see it not close the gap in. That's what we don't want to see. So on the 5-minute chart, let's see. So look how on the 5-minute chart, we did not close below this. So for me now, that negates right now that I'm looking for down here. It negates that, because it would have needed to close down here. I don't want to see it do this. So we have 23 seconds left. So even if it just now, like it closes here and then runs all the way down here, I wouldn't be able to take a part of it until it closes below this, because I want it to show that it's an inverse fair value gap, not try to predict that it's a inverse fair value gap. Because predicting, unless it shows it to you, it's going to be harder for you. So again, here, this to me doesn't look like an inverse fair value gap yet. It may look like it wants to do this. So now if I'm looking in terms of how do I, like, what's the next step for me at this point, right? Because I'm looking at this. I don't necessarily see this as a inverse fair value gap yet. Do I believe that it can still play out? Yes. But I need to see more. Like, I can't just sell right now. I can't do that. Now let's look at ES, by the way. What are we getting from ES? So we've had price trade up into this. This would be a immediate rebalance and then lower. So that's a good sign on the downside for us in terms of if we're looking for down here. ES is showing that weakness, and this should go along with it, if that makes sense. They should be going together. If you ever go onto the charts and you're seeing that, let's say Nasdaq is going higher and then ES is not going higher, that is immediately the thing to tell you probably should turn the charts off, or you should just walk away and come back later, because they should be moving in sync. If they're not moving in sync, then you have an issue. You're going to have a lot harder time trading. A lot harder time. So you want them to be together, moving together. So that's why on another chart, I'm not necessarily looking at that one right now. at the moment. But wait, did we trade? Oh, interesting. Here, I'll show you guys this too. So the I'll drag it over here. Hopefully you guys can see it. So this is another chart that I'm looking at. This is the midnight opening range. If you have not watched that before, his content, that's something that I think is very important. It's a really nice one. Help open my eyes to understand a little bit of daily highs and lows and where I should be targeting and what I should trust. So this lower entry right here, this lower swing low that this trades up to is actually the low end of the opening range, midnight opening range. So it's not a gap, it's just the midnight opening range. It's the time between 12 to 12:30. That's the time that that is deemed the midnight opening range. So it hits the low end of that right here. So I find that to be interesting. I just wanted to show you guys that because that's something that's on one of the other screens that I look at, just to have an understanding of what exactly I should be looking for and what levels, what key levels, what daily lows, and what liquidity pools are important for me at the moment. So that's how I look at that. So I'm going to take this, and now we're going to focus more on the Nasdaq. I don't see anything as yet that I should change from right here. But yeah, so again, I'm thinking that we're going to draw more towards that, and we'll see what ends up happening here. Because again, we have about 2 minutes until the 10 o'clock hit, so the silver bullet hour would hit then. That's what I'm looking to do something. So it'd be nice for it to close below here in the 2 minutes. Then that'll give me a better idea or understanding of what potentially we could be looking for. This could be a order block on a 4-minute chart that I could trade up into. Look, we had a volume imbalance there, and this gap here that didn't even get traded to. So, and then we could trade down to here if that's actually what price wants to do. Again, remember on the 1-minute chart we have this first presented. Why does this look weird, right? Oh, I think I did on the 2-minute chart. I'm tripping. That's the first presented fair value gap. So dang, on the 2-minute chart I was tripping. Why does that look different? I swear I saw it trade down into a gap. Maybe I'm tripping right now. But anyways. So let's see where we're at on the 5-minute chart. So in 24 seconds, for me, ideally, I'd want to see it. If it's going to go lower and trust this as an inverse fair value gap, I want to see it close below here. Just want to watch ES at the same time for right now. Because to the downside right now, we hit the negative. Oh, no, we didn't. Never mind. So again, we're very close. Now this is like the iffy point where it's like, oh, does this count? For me, it wouldn't. For me, it wouldn't. Trust me, I want to try to sell it. I want to see it. I want to see it trade up into a gap and sell it. But I just need to be patient here. So I'm leaning more towards that's what's most likely going to happen. That this it's going to get taken out. Now what I do like here is, I mean, this inversed. Then you do have this, but this for me would have to be closed upon. This order block. So again, in order for this to even be anything, it needs to close below it. I don't do wicks. You know, sometimes ICT would be like, oh, it just wicked down there and then I can sell it. Nah, that's not. I don't trade that way. I want to see it do everything that I'm expecting it to do, and then if it does that, then I'll take a trade. If it does not do that, then no, I'm not interested in that. So 10:01, it's macro time. I'm gonna go just to a little lower time frame to see what's exactly happening down here. And on the other charts, I have like I have the higher time frame charts on there, so I can make sure I'm still aware of what is exactly going on, so I don't get confused. I don't get lost at looking at all this movement, or it looks more like movement down here, and then on a higher time frame, it's literally nothing, right? So that's what I'm eyeing, and that's what I'm looking at. Because if we can get something aggressive down here, that'd be ideal. But again, I could be wrong. I could be trading higher and go back up to those London highs, and that's fine. We'll see what we end up getting at. Because right now it's not clear. It's not clear enough for me right now. Tony, when you do you trade around the macro times, or what is around the time that you kind of focus? Are you an AM trader, PM trader, lunch hour trader, New York trader, London trader? There's a whole bunch of, obviously, the time element that plays a role into this. What's kind of like the time that you focus on the most? But again, look at the bodies on the 1 minute chart. Look at the bodies. They're staying in this lower portion here. That's what I like. I like that we're staying in the lower portion here. That's like my favorite indication that, like, okay, we're unable to trade up in this higher portion right now. We're unable to do that. So now we're during macro time. We want to see it start to, this is off by one, I think, right? Yeah. We want to see it start to spool and start to move away with some speed. That's what we want to see. Yeah, we're spending a lot of time down here. So again, just think about this. Think about if you bought right now. How comfortable would you feel buying? Let's say you bought OTE. I'm buying OTE. Not saying that this can't go higher. I'm not saying that. But what I'm asking is, how comfortable do you feel right now buying OTE right now with the consolidating like this? Because usually your good trades, they don't do this. When you buy OTE, that joint buys, you get it and it's gone, right? That's the good trades. That's the ones that everyone want to be in. Not saying that this again can't go higher, but this isn't what it looks like. These are trades I don't want to be in, especially if I'm buying. Like, I can tell you that right now. They don't look like this. They don't consolidate at my entry. So those are the things that you look and what you look for in your trades when you are doing the back testing. How long am I usually in trades? How long do they, like if I get stopped out, how quick or how long does it take? When it reaches TP, how long does it take? Because usually, unless it's a high resistance day, my trade takes about 30 minutes or so to hit TP. Usually before then. Usually sometimes it happens within like 5 to 10 minutes because of how I was trading. So that was like the way that I knew. So if I was in drawdown for like 10, 11 minutes, or it's just sitting at my entry for 10, 11 minutes, I'm like, probably about to lose this trade. And most of them did. And so I learned that, okay, if it's just not moving anywhere and not respecting anything at any point, well, then I'm not interested. Like, I'll just close the trade and move on. So, okay, now we got a closure below, finally. So now what I'm looking for is, do we create a gap lower? Like, do we create a fair value gap lower? Do we create some type of indication that it wants to go lower? Because now I have my criteria met. It's 10 o'clock. I saw it has inversed this gap on the 5-minute chart, because that's what I'm looking mainly at, the 5-minute chart for my clear view. And so now if I'm going to a higher time frame, I'm going to a chart, the 1-minute chart. We have this order block right here. Remember, this is the first presented fair value gap that could be sensitive there as well. But I'll go to the 1-minute chart where I do my entries and stuff. There's no gap for me to enter on other than up here, but I don't want to take that one. I want to see something so clear and obvious, and then that's what I'm willing to do anything. But it has to be, again, this is sell side. I used to put like, I don't know where it is. I used to put like shark bait. That's what I used to put there, but we're not gonna do that. So are we able to create a fair value gap here? So I would like this even better if we created a gap here, like go through this, create a fair value gap without running all the way down here. But if we're able to create a gap and then trade back up into this, use it as inverse, and then see if we can take it lower. That would be what I would like to see. Personally. And I'm okay with being wrong as well. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh no, it's going to buy, and then start buying it. That is the that used to get me in trouble all the time. All the time I'd get in trouble doing that stuff. Trying to just be right and buy and just try to get into the move. Like, if it doesn't get into the move, I'm okay with that. Like, that's just what I'm okay with that. Like, I'm not trying to perform. I'm not trying to perform in terms of trying to put stuff on social media or trying to do things like that. It's like, if it doesn't fit the criteria, it just doesn't fit the criteria. And that's how you have to, because if it goes up here and does all this stuff, I'm not going to sit here and buy and be like, yep, see, I told you, it's just going to do whatever it's going to do anyways. It goes up here, it goes up here. I'm not expecting it to go up there. But if that's what happens, then that's what happens. Like, I'd much rather see it from where we are currently and the way that this looks. I'd rather see it trade down here. Just in my opinion, that's just what I would like to see. But again, because this is deep. This is a deep retracement into see, there's a gap here. I probably missed that. I want to see it close below. I saw it. I want to see it close below. But there's a gap right there. That's personally, I saw that gap, but I didn't trust it as much. I want to see it close below. So now if we can close below on here and we don't just run too far, I'd be okay with taking one. Again, I take one sell, one contract. Depends. And if we can, depends if we can close below this low here. I would try to take it as an immediate rebalance entry. But again, I need to see that. Because ICT talks about it all the time. Entering into trades is very easy. Very, very easy. Very, very easy. See, there's a volume imbalance there too. So I'm going to take this. I'm actually going to take this right now. So TP is going to be down at this sell side. Stop loss is going to be above here, 34 bucks. And so this is the trade that I'm going to be, that I'm looking for today. Again, having I saw the volume imbalance. That's what I took it off of. Just if you were wondering what I took it off of. The volume imbalance here. And normally I like trading with obviously multiple contracts, but since this is a day where I kind of told you I'm not as interested, I'm not as heavily into it. Normally, like, I'd take one off there, but like this is kind of like where I think the draw is. Draw liquidity is there. That's what I would be looking for. So I would say, like, okay, once it hits here, I take one off there, then I take one off here, and then the full pull would be down there. That would be my my process. So if we can trade below this low, then I'll move my my stop loss down into profit. Sorry, this is really bothering me right now because that's not how I usually have my things. So this right here, I don't like this reaction, but just because I don't like it doesn't mean that it can't do what it's going to do. I'd rather not do that, but sorry, these things are blown. They're just annoying me right now. This one is usually like this. Put it like 0.1. That goes to here. This is, there we go. Okay, so that's usually how I have it. Sorry. So again, here we had a little volume imbalance there that it kind of traded up into again. So again, we want to see it attack this low. That's ultimately what we're looking for. Down to this low, and then we want to see it. I'm having a target here. Like normally I would be looking at this daily sell side, but because I only have one contract on, that's how I have to participate with today. Like I'm not trying to do a full pull today. Just because of that, you know, it may not even get down there. This may not even do this. This could like come down here below this low and then come and do whatever, right? This is the market. This is just what we wait for. It can do whatever it wants to do. I'm just trying to participate. That's it. So now I'm looking at this wick here. I want to see it act as resistance here. So I want to see it stay below here. I don't want to see it trade up too high. Again, if we can trade below this low, that's when I'll move my stop loss down. And again, this is all happening inside the macro time. We have about, I guess it's outside now, but the entry occurred inside macro time. And like, that's essentially what I'm looking for. Again, this can stop me out. It can do whatever it wants to do, but this is how I attempted to trade this day, that where it made sense to me. Let's see. So I would have liked to see this hold. Let me just go like this. That's how I'm looking at it, and pretty much for me, it's like hands off. I'm not trying to do too much. I'm not trying to protect myself for not losing. Like, this is a trade I put. I mean, it's demo, yes, but I had a narrative, I had an understanding, I had just watching it, and this is the, I don't want to say model, but like this is the trade that I put on. And so when I put on the trade, as soon as I press buy or sell, I'm accepting the risk that I put on. And if I'm unable to do that, then I shouldn't take the trade. That's just kind of how I look at it. If I'm unable to be like, okay, this is where I think it's going to go, this is what I think it's going to do, and I'm unable to accept the risk of losing, then it's probably not a trade that I should put on. Probably shouldn't do that. So this is how I'm looking at it. So again, as soon as we can take out this low, that's when I would move my stop down to in profit. But until then, I cannot move it. I'm not trying to do too much. I'm going to let the market do whatever it's going to do regardless. I need to actually be watching. I'm tripping right now. My fault. I need to be watching ES to see what it's doing at the same time. Because it may come down here and then totally reverse. That's fine too. But it may not even reach down here. And that's also fine. I'm just trying to follow my rules, something that makes sense to me, waiting till specific time elements to occur. And when those time elements occur and everything aligns where it makes sense to me to take a trade or to do something, that's when I engage. But until then, I cannot do anything. Because what used to happen, if you go back and actually watch, there's another channel I was trying to do. But if you go back and you watch, or you go back and look at my stories on Instagram, it'll show trades where I see, I mean, this is not ideal. I don't like that. That I got close and doing that stuff. I don't like that. But what would happen is I would like be in a trade, and especially if I was trading online or trading live or whatever, I would be so, it's not afraid to lose. That's not the what was happening, but it was more or less like I wanted to be right and be okay, so I would just jam my stop loss up, and then I would get stopped out, and then you would see it go in the exact direction where I was wanting it to go. So I'm okay with like not moving my stop loss, not to be like, okay, I was in profit one time and then now I'm not in profit, and then if that happens, and then that's what happens. I'm okay with that. If you look on the 5-minute chart, see, I should have taken another entry there. But if you look on a 5-minute chart, it's trading up into a 5-minute I can't speak right now. A 5-minute fair value gap right here. And my stop loss is up there. Again, if I lose, I lose. You know, it is what it is. But again, if you're unclear about what you should be doing, what you should be waiting for, the 5-minute chart is your best friend. That's the chart that you're looking at. That's the chart that you're waiting for, and all that stuff. So we'll see. Could be a stop out. Could be a great trade. This looks like it's going to be a stop out. But again, that's just It's just part of the game. It's part of the game that we play. And I'm okay with anything that happens. So it looks like this is going to be a stop out. If it does in fact go above that gap or above that fair value gap on the 1 minute chart, and that's okay. That is okay. So we're trading above that 5 minute. I don't like that on the 5 minute chart, but we'll see what happens here. So I'm looking at the bodies right now. The wicks can do whatever they want. I'm watching the bodies. Do the bodies are they able to stay inside that gap? Stop loss placement might have been nice, but who knows? Again, it's a day that right ahead of FOMC. I guess this is kind of the stuff that, or price action that you kind of expect a little bit. But again, I'm not going to sit here and be mad if it stops me out and it goes in direction. If that's what happens, then that's exactly what happens. And there's nothing I can do about it. Nothing. So I do like this. I'm not going to be mad that it didn't trade down here and stop me out. Like, it's just how price works. It's part of the game. Do I like how high and deep it traded up into? See, that I don't like either. So it's probably going to stop me out. Yeah, right there. There we go. Okay, so stop me out. That was today's trade. That's what I was looking for. See if price could trade down to here. I was looking to see if we could check out the sell side liquidity or take out the this sell side and then the daily low from basically from where we were. So I took it up in here. That was my framework of the first was at the fair value gap. We traded below. Volume imbalance, we trade down. We got close, just didn't take it out. So I can't just jam my stop loss up in there. Do I still think that it could potentially come down here? I do. And we'll see if it can give another opportunity, because I do see on the 5 minute chart this gap. So that's, hold on, this is a little bit too much. This gap right here, we'll do this. But it needs to show a willingness to trade lower. If it doesn't, then there's really nothing else for me to do, right? I'm not gonna buy. So that's the only time that you'll see anything else. But I'm not really yeah, the market conditions today, just, not the, yeah, I knew that going in. That's why I didn't have any live funds on. But just having this to trade down here was the idea. So if we can inverse this, that would be a trade idea. Now, ideally, maybe my stop loss should have been up here, knowing that this is it could trade deeper or run deeper than what I expect. But I didn't even expect it even to come back up here, to be honest. For it to come down here and then trade up this deep was not something that I was expecting. But that's okay. It's just part of trading. And I could be completely wrong, and this may go all the way up here. I don't think so. I think it's still coming down here. But yeah, right after you lose is most of the time when you start to guess, like buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy. Like I'm okay with not buying today. I'm okay with not buying today. I'm okay with it going all the way up here and doing all that. Like that's fine. That's fine with me. I don't need to be right today. That's not my goal. Because that's what usually gets you in trouble, trying to be right. I'm okay with being wrong. Like I'm more than okay with being wrong. And that's just my, I guess, development of what I've learned from doing this for a while. Is being like, okay, do I rather be right or would I rather still be able to play the game? Most people would rather be right and not be able to play the game. That's how most people operate. And again, we have this volume imbalance here as well. I'm noticing that too. So just gonna mark everything that I'm kind of looking at that you may not see. I wish there was like a way, like the how the cameras maybe that's what I'll do. How I guess if you have a camera and you can look at your screen and it will kind of tell you where you're looking. Maybe I'll try to do that at some point. I don't know if that'll work, but you guys could visually see where I'm looking at. So if I'm looking here, you'll kind of see that's where I'm looking. Or if I'm looking here, you'll see where I'm looking. That's a nice reaction though, I'm not gonna lie. It's a very, very nice reaction. But again, today I wasn't looking for buys. I was looking to see if we could take out this low down here and this down here. Very nice reaction off the first presented fair value gap. Trading through, we closed, not yet. We kind of closed minimally above the first presented fair value gap. I meant the 5-minute gap here, right there. So we minimally close above that. And so again, like for me, those signs or signatures have to be in place. I wonder if we're gonna get inside day. Well, I guess it wouldn't technically be an inside day because we took out this down here. But I wonder about that because there's no SMT in terms of ES in NQ. There's no SMT to the downside at all, or sorry, to the upside here. There's nothing there. So this could be a day where it's just kind of we stay inside of this, but as expected, you know. So I think tomorrow for me, it's FOMC. So tomorrow the stream will be a little bit later. It'll be like 2 p.m. probably. That'll be like the next stream because like trading before FOMC doesn't make any sense. Like it just really doesn't make sense. So again, that's a nice buy, 1019 from there. But my idea was that we would potentially run this out before doing that, but we didn't get that at all. All we got was yeah. Does anyone have any questions though? Like anything for me? Anything that you're excited about, like the new year? Anything you're looking forward to? Because I enjoy this. Like I have a lot of fun doing this. A lot. Yeah, fell short, came down. That's a deep retracement, right? Very, very deep retracement to come back up here. And again, anything can happen, right? But for me, that's a very, very, very deep retracement. So that immediate rebalance didn't work. Initially, nice reaction off the volume imbalance here. After trading up into this gap, that was a nice reaction. Traded lower, but unfortunately, you know, price failed to. It took out its what we would call it, the 930 low or pre-market low. It took that out, and then since then reacted aggressively and trading higher and coming up to from here right now. Yeah, it's just unfortunate. So that was not respected at all. See, we traded through that. Traded through this as well. So yeah, the only time I was looking to sell was not here. It was only after 10 o'clock. We had that. Even this would have been silver bullet. I was looking to see if we could take out this low. We just were unable to do that, and that's fine. But now, at this point in price, yeah, that buy here, potentially we can trade up to there. It may want to make another run up there, but I'm not interested in trying to do acrobats right now. Like, took one trade. Normally I would take another trade but like it didn't even pan out the way that I was looking at it. So I don't want to sit here and try to juggle these things and just let it go. It's fine. There's always tomorrow. That's what I like about this, and understanding that tomorrow is always available, or even later, but I'm not trading later today. But that option is always available. But most of the time when you're in the moment trying to trade, you only see right now. And so you end up churning your account on these days, and then you're not even able to trade later because you've blown up everything. So it just, yeah, that's just the part of this, that understanding that and getting that understanding is just going to help you in your chart or in your trading. When you lose or even when you win, doesn't matter. Not getting too high, because that can also make you feel like King Kong, and then that's when everything happens. That's when worse things happen, actually, because you're too overconfident, too confident, and then you end up just blowing everything, essentially. So yeah, I think that, how long we've been streaming, like an hour and 17 minutes or so. Okay, cool. I definitely appreciate everyone that hopped on here and talked. Tony, appreciate you, teacher, Corgi, all y'all. I definitely appreciate you guys for stopping in. We'll see what ends up happening. Maybe price does want to come up here and attack this London high. Maybe it's just a deep retracement. Maybe this is in, yeah, these are just deep retracements both ways. Like for it to come back down here and not touch it and then come back up here in the inside the middle of this range is just crazy work. So we'll see what ends up happening. We'll see whatnot. I'm going to hop off and then I'll do, oh yeah, let me screenshot this, by the way, because every time I trade, every time I do something, it's a lesson for me. So I want to make sure I have it. And I usually what I'll do, let's say the day has already played out, I'll go back to like this moment or whatever, go on bar replay, and then talk about everything I saw and why I took this trade. Most people don't have any documents or any data about anything that they do, and so it's hard to adjust. It's hard to understand what you're doing wrong or what you could do better. Not necessarily wrong, because I don't think there's anything wrong with this trade. I don't think I rushed to get in. I don't think I didn't accept a loss. I don't think I did anything wrong. It's just that this is a trade setup that just didn't work, and that's fine. And so now I can go in, and I'm not going to beat myself up in my journals saying like, oh my goodness, because I XYZ, like if you tear yourself down so much in your journals, it's going to be hard for you to trade live because you've beat yourself up so bad. Like there's nothing to beat myself up over this for. It just didn't work out. That's fine. I had a trade idea. I had a plan. I traded my plan. It just didn't work out today. And the second way I would have gotten in, this was not an entry for me. It would have had to have come up here, come down through here, inverse this, trade back up into it, and then I would have taken another one. That didn't happen either. So if those things didn't happen, there's no need for me to get in. But there's a reason why I didn't trade live. Like, I'm not interested at all. But I am interested in the practice. I am interested in getting to understand myself better. And I think a lot of times when you're learning or when you're getting into trading, and maybe if you're even a seasoned trader, you're afraid to actually do the practice, and you have to take the reps. Like that's the most important thing, is like taking the reps to get to the point where like you're taking a trade and you're comfortable, like you're chilling, your heartbeat isn't racing, because that's what used to happen to me. I would get into a trade and my heartbeat would be going crazy, like boom, 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 like so fast for no reason. Like there's no danger, I'm not in trouble. Why is my heartbeat beating like I just ran a marathon? Like that's what it felt like. And then now to the point where like it's like I take a trade, if I lose, I lose. If I win, I win. Like it's just like that, and then move on to the next day or move on to the next session, next time, like whatever it is. And so that's what I enjoy, the process of this, and then who you become through it, because I've definitely become a better person through this, more patient, because I understand that rushing anything is just not the best. It doesn't work out. It doesn't nothing will change that. And so your trading is a mirror. It reflects you, and that's most things. But yeah, this may end up going higher, and I could have been completely wrong. I can't be completely wrong, and I'm okay with being wrong. I don't want to. Yeah, I'm not trying to force this and be like, oh, I made my money back today, and nah, it's all good. There's other days, there's better days to trade where it'll be clear for me, clear for everyone else, clear for you, and all that stuff. But I definitely appreciate you guys for coming in and hanging out with me, and yeah, hopefully tomorrow maybe we'll get some better let's see, PA, just in terms of it being clean levels and stuff. But again, even if not, these are always days to learn, days to get better at, days to see specific things, learn about how the market moves, what we look for, and all those types of things, because I think that's important to have these days If you never have these days, you never learn fully how to be that complete trader. Yeah, the second macro, yeah. I mean, it could potentially be there, Corgi. Um, yeah, it could potentially be there again. Just for me, like as I'm looking at this right now, I just don't like how deep it's trading into things, right? So if it's trading in like insanely deep, that's like a key indicator or a key thing of like high resistance trading, and I don't want to be trading in those times. Um, because you do have the second macro coming up, like here. We can like wait actually. Yeah, drawing liquidity. Yeah, yeah, 6 5. Yeah, that's kind of what I had too. Like that's what I'm looking at. But we'll see here. Yeah, it could set up again. Actually, we'll stay till that. I'm not gonna get off. I'm gonna stay till that and just watch it because I mean, this for me is practice. This is always practice. Um, so we can see what ends up happening in terms of this. Yeah, the low this morning. Yeah, I just thought that like we took out the 930 low. We took that out, and so normally like I mean you have one two three normally like even this low. So normally what ICT does teach, and it didn't even hit that though. By the way, didn't even hit that. But you're looking for like the original low to even get traded to. It didn't even do that. So we'll see there. We'll see what we get there. But we do have this macro again, the 1050 to 1110 macro. Just here, the way, like if I'm looking here, we have this fair value gap get traded down to, and it overlaps with the first presented, and then the movement away, we have a volume imbalance, doesn't even trade down to, disrespects this, also trades through this mess. To me, this is not like a day where like I feel like I'm guessing, you know, because like yes, it can come up here for sure. Yes, I do believe it could trade down here because there's daily liquidity down here, but it's just like it's just doing too much of things that I don't like, and it's not as clear or as it's not as nice as I would like it to look. So then it's harder for me to be like, okay, this is exactly what I want to do. Now, when it was up here and it closed below, I had a very clear plan. It's like, okay, so it's going to do this. If it trades up into a fair value gap, it has to go below this. It traded up into a fair value gap, had a nice reaction. I like that. I missed the reaction. It was down here, closed below the first presented fair value gap, traded up into a volume imbalance. That's why I took it. That was like the only reason why I took it. It fit criteria. It was after 10, macro time. Then we looked to see if it could trade lower. It just took out this low, didn't take out this one. Because if it taken out this one, it would have been a scratch trade. It just didn't do it. So nothing I can do about that one. But yeah, we're gonna wait and see what happens at 1050. Like I'll look at the next macro. I'll probably get off at the next macro after that happens. But I am definitely interested in seeing kind of like how this plays out because I just don't like this mess. This is a high resistance trading. This reminds me of the one I took like last week, where like it's just a lot of that. So to me, it looks like potentially we're gonna come up here and run the buy side because all we've done the whole day was run sell side. The also like kind of played a factor into me taking this short was the fact that we had you can't see it. Let me go over here. The fact that we had trade up into the middle of this gap. And so I was like, okay, we trade up in the middle of this gap. It doesn't need to do a full gap closure. So then I'm just gonna look forward to see if it can take out this low down here. But we didn't get that at all either. And so that's cool. Also, us trading at a old low, which would be the London low, is pretty much like down here. Do I ever grade? So I have done that before. I have graded the open range. To me, I try to simplify it, Tony, as much as possible. Like I don't try to do too much. What ended up happening was like you're seeing these charts on my screen now, like the ones that I show that I have. I used to have those. The issue was when I was doing that, I was trying to look at too much. So I tried to say, okay, what are the things that I actually need in my trading? Grading the opening range. If that works for you, then you keep that. Like, don't change anything. For me, when I try to add too much in there, it starts to confuse me a little bit. Right? It starts to confuse me way too much. Also, like, just think about it, like why I was looking for the downside too. Is look, we have previous week's new week opening gap right there. So again, for me, it was like, oh, there's a lot of things to the downside after we've already done things that would give me an indication that that's probably where we want to trade. So like, that's why I'm not upset about the trade. Like, it's not like I said, oh, I'm just trying to sell, so I'm gonna just sell and get in there, and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. That to me would be a bad trade. You know what I mean? So yeah, just following that rule and following their plans. And so if for you, Tony, if the opening range grading that works for you and you're finding success and it makes sense to you, then keep that. But like, let's say you're doing 50 different things and you're trying to look at all these things all at the same time, and you're not able to fully concentrate or fully be able to see what's happening, then you just have to figure out like, what do I actually need in the charts? What do I need in there in order for me to be successful? And then what's in there that's prohibiting me from being able to execute properly? And so for me, I had like everything, man. Everything. New week opening gap, new day opening gap, opening range. I didn't know the midnight opening range yet. I hadn't done that one yet. So I didn't know that. But I had everything. In like the last 5-6 days, I had all this stuff. Like, it looked like all the indicators, things that you see on where people make fun of the people that use indicators and stuff. Like, think about Ichimoku Cloud or whatever. That's what my chart looked like. You know what I mean? My chart looked like that. You couldn't even see nothing. And I had so many charts, and I was like, I don't know what's happening. Hey, Corgi, this is a good reaction up here. This is a good reaction. You know what's actually funny, though? Watch. It's traded up into a 5-minute gap. So we're going to see if this isn't an inverse gap. This is probably my least, I'm going to be honest, this is probably one of my least favorite setups right here. Yeah, every PD array, every support level, like, yeah, so you just have so much on there, and like, it just doesn't work out that way. Just to be honest. Like, that was just my thing, right? So you have this on the 5-minute chart. My least favorite is 5-minute here, 5-minute below. I like this close. That is probably like one of my ones I dislike the most, because it's just like, man, why do you have to do that chart? Just like, don't create that gap. Come down there and do that. But so here's a gap here, right? Now, if this was in macro time, I'd probably most likely take it. But it's not, so I'm willing to wait. But it's not in macro time, so I'm okay with sitting a little bit and waiting for a little bit more information. But yeah, so that's how I would look at this potential setup, to see if we can trade a little bit lower after trading up into this 5-minute gap. On the 15-minute chart, we traded to like the middle of we could say the order block is what you would call it. Let's look at SMT. Let's look at ES. So again, ES has no gap up there at all. And this honestly would be a better, like, look where we are, because this would be the range. We're in a premium market right now versus a discount market where we're down there. So that, again, could be a very, very good selling opportunity, like right there when we trade up into it. But I'm okay with waiting for what the macro is going to do, because it should spool and should give us an indication if it wants to go lower to take that trade setup. And so I'm going to just like, what is this? I forget what that is. On a higher time frame, something? Oh yeah, the 5-minute gap. Okay. So again, just being patient, waiting for this. That was a good 1039. Again, if it was macro time, if like switch this over or move this over here, I would be willing to take that again. I would try it again, and then that would be like the last trade I would take. Um, because it fits criteria, it fits what I'm looking for. We had a reaction there. We closed below here. But yeah, I'm willing to wait for it to be a little bit like create a gap, then do something in the, because we have like what, 9 minutes. So waiting 9 minutes isn't gonna like make or break my account, make or break my trading career. 9 minutes is gonna do absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things. So we just wait. Like I don't remember if you Corgi, were you in ICT's mentorship at all, like the paid one? And Tony, were you at all either? I'm just interested to see who was in there. Oh, Corgi, I was asking if you were in his paid mentorship group at all. Oh, Tony, you weren't. That joint was crazy back in the like the days like when he was doing that stuff, because he would like, I remember there was one teaching or one video that he had done where he was like, oh, you weren't in there either. So there was like one day, because he used to do them like every night. You would get like a daily video pretty much. So like when he talks about the stuff that he used to do, like the videos he was putting out, man, there's like thousands of them, Johns, on them. So you like, we had to like download them before he like deleted the website or deleted his whole website. He had I have it on like a flash drive and stuff. So the stuff that you guys have, the core mentorship stuff, is the like the same stuff that we got, but we also got like the daily videos that he didn't put those on YouTube. So we have those. Like we have those ones. But there was one time he was talking to us and he was like, yeah, you know, we're gonna see price trade down to this fair value gap. Like if it was this one, he extends it out, bro. When I tell you, it did exactly everything he said. Everything. Didn't even, and this is before the fact. So like he still does that now, but like imagine like hours, like the day hasn't even formed yet. Like the next candle hasn't formed, and he'll be like point out a fair value gap and be like, yeah, look at this one. This one's gonna trade down here. It's gonna trade higher. It's gonna do this, blah 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 blah. And it just did everything. And you're just like, what in the world is this man on? But yeah, so that stuff was cool. And then like he would have like very like kind of personal. You know how like sometimes, yeah, bro. His way he reads price and also his stop loss placement is absurd. But like when you realize, I guess, what you're doing and you know that, it's like chilling. Like you're really just chilling in there. Cause like sometimes even when you watch his videos, I know he does it on purpose too. He'll like put it up. He'll like put his stop loss like right there, and price just won't hit it. You're like, I know it's about to hit it. There's no way, and then it just doesn't. Right? It's like that. That to me is like really cool. Like that's a level that I want to get to. Just and not like having the stop loss be close. That's not what I'm talking about. But just being able to read price action and knowing like, okay, if I put my stop here, like I'm absolutely wrong. Like it should not come up here. Like that understanding of how to read price. That's just what I want to get to, you know? And so I just found that, like I found out to be really, really cool when he would do stuff like that in his videos, and how you had like that community. Because the thing that I think is a lot different when you have the ICT community right now, and even outside of that, a lot of people are toxic. Like inside that, the community that we had, appreciate that, Tony. Inside the community that we had, no one was toxic. Everyone was really trying to actually help each other out there. You could post things. I don't know why this thing just shifted like that. That was weird. You could post things in there and people would help you. Right now, it's like no one really wants to help you, and then it's just very toxic, and I don't like that. Like that's what I don't like. And when you're in there, and don't get me wrong, like when I first started learning ICT, I was an ICT like, man, someone else was trading another way. Oh no, I'm like, you don't know what you're doing. But I couldn't even trade ICT. But I'm sitting there like, you don't know what you're doing, right? So sometimes you can get into that, and I'll get caught in things that are just like, you know the whole game, especially if you're on social media and stuff, and you want to call people out and do all that stuff. That like, yeah, that's what I was doing. And so honestly, like what helped me the most as well was I got off social media. I stopped doing all that stuff. I stopped trying to perform, and Because I used to make videos to perform. I used to make videos to troll. That's how I used to make videos. So I used to have a friend that didn't know anything about ICT, didn't know anything really about like trading and stuff like that. And he would like, he had a Discord, and he would put in his Discord like I'm selling. And so I immediately would go onto my computer, look to see if I see a buy setup, and if I did, I would take it and I would record the whole thing. And I would take screenshots of not him. I wouldn't expose his name or anything like that. I didn't do that. But I would say, I'm watching this immediate rebalance right now. But I'm sorry. I would say like, I would take a screenshot. Let's see if that offers that to us. I would say things like I put the screenshot in there. I put the video over top of like my friend, or I'll say like this person said this, and I went in and did this. So I was really trolling. Like that's how I used to make a lot of my videos, was just being like that. Now I don't. Now obviously that's just, to me, was a little childish, very childish doing it like that. But it was a way for me to feel significant because I couldn't trade any other way. Right? So I had to make it come out of I had to do something. So, and obviously when you're trading out of that, then like, you know, being profitable that's not your goal. Your goal is to troll. And you just can't troll. You just can't trade like that, right? It's just not. We're trading down to a 5-minute gap as well. But I am watching this. See how we do this. Because if we can get a nice, it may just run down here and it's like, oh, well, it is what it is. Hopefully we don't. Hopefully we get another opportunity to, you know, play the game. But if we don't, we don't. And that's fine. So that's what I'll be looking for, to see if we can trade up into this. I'm okay with taking a trade here, and if it stops me out again, then, you know, it is what it is, you know. Just take it on the chin. We go to another day. I just hope it doesn't just run down here, because then it's like, man, you don't get to play today. So we'll see about that. We'll see what ends up happening. I'll put my like sell limit there, just so when it closes I can just, you know, put it right there. I'm trying to see if there's a volume imbalance there. It looks like there is a volume imbalance in there, so if it does create it, I'll put it like right at the body. Put it right there, and we'll see what we're gonna go from here. Stop loss will be above this immediate rebalance. TP's down originally right here. Yeah, you hate these slow days. Yeah, I'm telling you. It's just a part of trading, though. It's literally just a part of trading. And sometimes these days are just like this. And there's really, like, absolutely nothing you can do about it. And you just watch. You just have to watch. It's like, I was talking to my mom earlier. I said sometimes it can be like just watching paint dry. But, you know, it is what it is. Like, there's really nothing that you can do. What it's probably, it might just run from here, and it's like, well, kudos. Kudos whoever got in. Again, it was just a little bit too far ahead of the macro time for me, but that's what we were looking for. Too many FVGs on this time frame, so again, you have to find one that makes sense. I would have much rather liked if it on this candle had gone up here and then done this. That would be cool, right? That'd be cool. So you're in the UK. Okay, cool. You trade last hour trade. I feel you on that one. Okay, cool. Yeah, we may not get an entry here. This may just, you know, completely roll over, and that's what happens too. It's part of that as well. Actually, maybe to get another opportunity. I don't think it's going to come up there, actually, in my opinion. But we close on the 5-minute chart below this gap. So if we trade up here, I may attempt that as well. But I don't think we're going to get that. I don't even think we're going to get that. It may just be a straight dive down. No. Okay, so we may get something here, actually. Hold up. We may get something here. We're gonna see. We're going to see if we get something here. Because if it comes down, like if it hits this, then like there's nothing I can do at that point. Like if it does that, then This is a day where like it's just like, nah, you ain't having it. We ain't doing it. We ain't doing it today. That's why I mean, like, yeah, I was like, up here looks yeah, I don't think we're gonna get anything today. This might just be one of those days. But I will take something if we can get here, and then I'm gonna try to take it to the sell side. But we need a closure because I don't think it's gonna go all the way up there. There's no shot. We're not getting this one. Above there, 113. Let's see if we can get that there. So it'd be basis off the first presented fair value gap. We have the inversion there. And if we can trade up to that, and again, why I'm using this is that there's a volume imbalance there, so I'm using the opening of that candle. But we may not even get that. It may not even trade that high because this clearly looks weak. As you see that, it's just dropping. There's no chance of real retracements. And then I'm also watching ES as well. So if ES takes out that low, obviously, and this is holding, then it is what it is at that point. But I want to see if we can trade back up to the first presented fair value gap. And I'm trusting that it won't trade too deep into this. Yeah. It's a nice level to see if we can get up there. Get up into that. But there's no way, right? Huh? There's no way, right? But if it doesn't get in there, it's fine. It is what it is. So I'm allowing it to see if it can trade up into the first presented fair value gap. My thing was literally right there. But I'm okay to see if it trades up into this, allowing that, having my stop above that. I don't think that it should trade up into too much of this range. I wouldn't even want to see that, to be honest. But again, we take an L again. But again, looking to see if this can get taken out. That reaction on the 5-minute on ES looks brazy right now. But that's what we're looking for. First presented fair value gap to get hit again. Well, the basis of that, it's pretty much literally the same trade. Like, this is literally the same trade. It may not work again, which is fine. But this is literally the same trade. We'll see what we get here. So basically off of first presented, I didn't think that we could trade up any higher. We have technically, I mean, probably should be a little bit higher, to be honest, my stop. But once I put on a trade and I put my stop in there, I don't move it. I'm not sitting here and go, even though it's one contract and it literally means nothing, I can't be in there and switching up and moving it and doing all that stuff. So right now we do have this breaker as well. So technically for me, it should be, oh, I can't even grab it. Am I tweaking? Oh, my stop loss is in the way. Hold up. So you have this breaker block here. If I can. There's just too much on the charts, but y'all see the breaker block. Hopefully you guys see the breaker block. There's just too much going on here, and I just can't do that. It's way too much going on here. But so that's the trade setup that happened inside the macro time. So hopefully we can see some soft reaction there. I don't think that we should. I mean, it could trade up a lot higher and deeper, and again, could be wrong again. And you know, it is what it is at this point. But let me look on the 5-minute chart. Yeah, there's a volume bounce right there. I don't like this entry, but we're gonna trust it and just let it go. So probably should be above this. I probably should be above this breaker block. I'm not gonna move it, but just for reference, I probably should be above here, above this. And looking at the higher time frame, wait, where was I at before? The 4-minute, 3-minute, 2-minute, 3-minute. This volume imbalance, I should have been above that once I realized that, but it is what it is. You know, it just happens. So for me, I mean, that's the end. Like, there's really nothing else I would do. So looking at this, I guess potentially waiting for it to come up there. I just don't like the way that the price action is being today. But I guess maybe coming up there, waiting for it to come back up to this fair value gap specifically would have probably been a little bit better. But I'm okay with what I did. I thought the first presented fair value gap would hold price, would show rejection there, and it just unfortunately did not. And yeah, if this starts coming back up here, yeah, this is the exact reason why I expected this type of price action. I'm not surprised by this at all. But yeah, so we'll see what ends up happening. Maybe waiting for this up here to try to get in there instead of expecting this to hold. That's in a discount. It's technically in a discount, not in a premium side or premium end of the fair value gap. But yeah, this might, like, I am wondering if we're going to stay inside of this. I wonder if we stay inside of this high and this low. I wonder if that's what we're going to do right now. We shall see what ends up happening. I'm going to wait till like probably 10:10 or 11:10, I'm sorry. And then just be on tomorrow. I don't know which day. I don't know which time. I guess I'll put it on if you guys follow me. Do you guys follow me on Instagram? Send me a DM and I'll follow you guys back. Let me see. If you guys send me a DM, I'll follow you guys back for sure. But yeah, so this, I do like at least where the candles were kind of forming down there. They're kind of holding this price level below the 50% of here, so not able to trade high enough. I think where my initial entry was right there. But yeah, we shall see about that. So traded up to 50%. But it's like coming low, like it comes down to a low, trades up high, doesn't get up there. Comes down to a low, trades up high. So this is obviously like the seek and destroy, blow your account type of scenarios. That's what happens in these moments. And I ain't being a part of that. They ain't getting me. We don't do that. Not getting me. Yeah, so 5-minute chart, we came back all the way up to this fair value gap, ran through all of this. So now this is coming back up into this fair value gap. This one right here. After inversing. So then, yeah, that was the better entry there. I just was too early. Didn't wait enough, but yeah, I think we're going to finally, we should see it come down here. I'm going to just delete these things. Because we're stayed here. If we, let's go to 2-minute chart. Yeah, so 2-minute chart, again, overlaps. This would be the key fair value gap. There it is. Entry there, stops above, and then, yeah. I'm not going to get back in. I'm good. This isn't, it's not about that. And then take out this low. And then see if we can take out this low as well. Yeah, I don't need to get back in this. That's all. It's going to do what it's going to do anyways. What was the loss? Like, I don't know, $50. What, 30, yeah, like 60, $70. Ain't nothing. One trade, gone. So yeah, this is pretty much it. Like took 2 L's. I thought the logic that I traded with was good. I'm not mad at myself for anything or how things panned out. It's just expectations of the day. I did what I saw, and that's all that I can. I'm proud of myself, because usually on these days, these days used to be the account blower, top step, apex reset. That's what these days used to be, because I had to be right. I don't have to. I can walk away from this feeling better, knowing that I didn't do anything outside of. I need to screenshot this. Hold up. And do anything outside of what I expected, But yeah, I'm definitely excited for the new year because this type of PA is not my best, not my favorites. But learning in these conditions is just as important as I was kind of saying earlier. But yeah, so I got about like what? Nah, I think I'm gonna dip now. I think I'm gonna go out. I have some stuff to do a little bit later today. But definitely appreciate you guys for hopping in. Popping out here, Corgi, Tony. Hope to see y'all tomorrow, and anyone else who came out here. Appreciate y'all, teacher. And yeah, this is again always a learning opportunity, always a session to um, experience something that may not, because every day is different, right? Every day is not the same. You have different criteria. This is definitely a high resistance trading day. Like you can clearly see that this is what it is, and it's trading sideways really. Takes out a low, comes up. Takes out a high, comes down. Doesn't take out the low, comes up. So I think now, like what Corgi had said, like this macro is going to be the one to finally deliver it to the downside. So this is where I think it's going to go for sure. But I don't need to get in it to prove anything to myself or anyone. So that's why I don't need to press the button again. It just is what it is. So that's a good trade there from that angle. Order block here. If we can inverse that especially. And then again, sell side, all this down here. So yeah, I appreciate that, Corey, for being like, yeah, the next one. I was like, yeah, because I wasn't gonna stay to the next one, but I'm definitely glad I did because this was good to see and good to just be a part of, and just see how the market was gonna move. And expectations. Again, I wanted to see a trade up here first and then come down. I just didn't even give that. So that's so give me the inverse fair value gap here. I'll leave actually when it ends. So inverse fair value gap, we weren't even able to trade up to that, which shows weakness. And we'll be looking to take out this low that it failed to take out, that low, and that low. That dude. So the only thing that I would have said I should have done better on was wait for it to come up to a premium. That would have been my difference maker. Again, here we go. Close below. So this is what I was. So this type of reaction, where it closed below, come up, and then that's the type of reaction I was expecting here. Like that's what I was expecting here. It just didn't give that. But just looking at like in hindsight, just obviously what it had played out. It's like okay, yeah, wait for it to come up to premium, then do that. But for it to come up here, run like this, trade below here like that, and that for me it was like okay, cool. Like this is showing weakness. It's showing it wants to go lower, so I'm gonna take it. And I took it, and then obviously went to premium, and then now it's still doing this. But then even this right now, it's like, bruv, what are you doing? What are we doing? But yeah, so down here for sure. Down here, and then there. But yeah, so we'll. Dang, I don't know. I'm hearing this weird noise. Maybe it's just me. Hopefully, y'all not hearing that on the live stream. Hopefully. But yeah, so we're looking for down there. And yeah, this day is lovely, right? This is a lovely trading day. Lovely. Yeah, media rebalance. Boom. Came up. Shorting opportunity again. But yeah, this is just high resistance. Like once I saw this, I was like, oh, we're finally, and then nah. Nope. Man, you guys have any plans for the New Year's? Are y'all doing anything? We got like 5 minutes left. See if y'all doing anything. Maybe I'll pull up. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But for real, y'all doing anything? I forget that movie, what it's called. I gotta forget the movie. But Tony, you know that movie where the guy yells, Tony? No, it's Ricky. Nah, dang. I thought it was Tony. It's Ricky. Where he yells, Ricky! But nah, it's Tony. It's Ricky, my fault. I thought it was Tony. Yeah, bro. What are we doing, Cup? Yeah. So there's a fair value gap there, but I personally wouldn't want to see even trade up into that. personally. But we're probably still going to get that anyways. Yeah, I want to see that remaining breakaway gap, not trade up to it, and then see if we can start to attack these lows. But notice we literally haven't taken out London high. We took out the pre-market high, or this 930 low we took out. But then this low we haven't. So I just have a feeling either the PM session is going to do it, or it ain't going to do it at all. We're just going to stay inside and get close and then run back up to the middle, get high, run back down to the low. So that's my... You're going to do the same thing. What you mean by that, Tony? You're going to do the same thing that you've been doing? You talking about for the New Year's or in general? I'm not sure if that's the question that you were answering. So that's a nice reaction there. Take out that inverse. Let's go here. Oh, for the New Year's? Hey, that's good then. That means you've been doing something right. For sure. For sure, that's how that works out. Means you've been doing something right. That's good. But also doing something new doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. Just want to make sure that's clear. Not like you've done something wrong. You just want to improve. That's all it's about. Improvement. You know what I find so interesting? What I find so interesting is like literally I think all my entries, this one was at this one, which is fine. But like all of them are pretty much at this level, which is, I just laugh at that. Are we getting immediate rebounds here, or are we going to come back up higher? Yeah, these are the days, just not it. No bueno. I mean, yeah, last week of the year, end of the year, no news, FOMC tomorrow. It's like, you're just setting yourself up. Like for a hard or harder trading day. Not like it is hard, it's just a more difficult trading day. So yeah, in a big opening gap. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like opening range gap. Yeah, everything is like setting up. So like this, I like that. Like just the odds are see, you know what I got to do? I got to get that like that what's it called? The stream deck. You'd be like, may the odds forever be in your favor, like the Hunger Games thing. I feel like that joke would be so funny. But yeah, these odds are not in our favor today. Like not even close to be like high probability. Like this is not a high probability day. At all. It's just not it. So cooling. But it should. I mean, like this type of PA, man. It's like, brava, do something. You know, with the little stick and the fish meme. It's like do something. Like do something. Yeah, like, ooh. The odds are not in our favor today. Hunger Games type style. For real. Yeah, tomorrow I'm trying to figure out what'll happen or what I'll do. Because it is in the PM. Yeah, the PM session or like, yeah, the lunch session we'll run it out. If it doesn't run it out now, it could trade a little bit higher and then run it out, but I'm not waiting for that. Like, for me, this is not. Even if I was trading live and this was happening and this was like my live funds, I would not even wait for this because to me, this day is just not. I'm not interested at this point, right? Like, again, I'm not trying to be right and make my money back. Like, there's better days to be this that are more explosive, that are easier to read, that run to your take profit like it's nothing. Like, those are the days that you wait for. Or that you want to milk. On these days, you're not trying to do that. You're just trying to get in, get out. Yeah, the book, something. Yeah, got to go do something else. Listen to a podcast, go for a walk. I mean, I have stuff to do later. I'm going to check out this fragrance shop. But outside of that, like it's just you just gotta be chilling for real. Like these are just not days to push it, and yeah, not interested in that. But Tony, do you trade live? You still in demo? And then what about you, Corgi? If you're still here, are y'all on live? Y'all demo funded? Trying to get funded? Where are you guys at in your stages? Yeah, I think the lunch session is gonna give us what it needs, cause or PM, cause this ain't it right now. I'm on demo right now. Literally just turned. Okay, that's good. That's good, man. That's a good place to be, bro. That's a great place to be. It is gonna be an exciting new year, bro. I'm telling you. That's a great place to be, man. Looking at, the demo and starting to get consistent, starting to see stuff that actually makes sense to you. That's a great place to be. Cause you're like right there. You're like right there. I remember that. I remember that. Which are you gonna try to go for a funded account when when that process is done, or are you gonna try to trade like your own funds and stuff? Yeah, I got to make sure. Yeah, don't rush it. I'm telling you, just don't rush it. Just let it play out its course, and you'll know, right? You'll know when it's like, okay, it's time to go. Like it's time to move on to the next step. For sure, the algo works on that. It runs off of that. It runs off of all of that. And like trying to be right, I'm telling you, that is your worst enemy in this. Because as soon as you're focused more on trying to be right, it's over. Your account's done. Because you're gonna force it and keep forcing it and keep forcing it and keep. That's why like right now, like there's nothing. There's really nothing here for me, personally. For me, there's nothing here personally. I just don't. Am I interested? You know. I will start a funded. I've already failed two, so I had to step back and reevaluate now. Okay. Yeah, well, you're better than me, man. It didn't take me. It took me a while to reevaluate while I was funded, while I was failing funded accounts. It took me a while to get to that point. So, um, kudos to you for willing to do that because it's very hard, you know, especially in this where it feels like everyone's passing, everyone's doing this and everyone's doing that. So that's good, man. Um, yeah, the discipline is going to be very, very important aspect for you, and that just in general for me too. Like you have to consistently be consistent. If you're not, then you're cooked. You're cooked, and especially in trading. And then be able to control, like you said, fear and greed, understanding when enough is enough, understanding like just when to walk away when there's better opportunities or anything, like being okay with that, being okay with taking losses, being okay with not getting as much as you what happens to be after the day is over, like those things, right? Those are like the little small things that end up becoming bigger things when you're trying to or when you're attempting to be take those accounts or pass and doing all that type of stuff. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for today. I don't think that. Yeah, I'm not really interested in waiting for the PM session to see what happens. Like it's not that big of a deal for me. If it takes out the low, I'll be like, hey, it takes out the low. But that'll be about it. I won't be like, oh, I was right. Like it don't matter. It don't matter. Really don't matter. But the one thing that I am happy about that I will say today is I did not buy. That's the one thing I'm happy about. I did not buy because that was not in my plan to buy. So if I went in there and started buying, then I would have just done everything opposite of what I was looking for, and that's not. That also doesn't help you either. If you have a plan and you're like, I'm gonna buy today, or I'm gonna sell today, and then all of a sudden you start buying, and then like all the sell setups are there, and you're just buying. That's when you usually then you have a hard time trusting yourself. That's why you can't. keep going back on flipping and doing all that type of stuff because it looks good in here and it's like, oh, I sold here and I bought here and I made my money back. Okay, blah 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 blah. I'm really good, right? I can make it back. But what ends up happening when you don't understand that, when you're doing that, is like you're going against what you're thinking. It's not that you can't switch your buys if you notice something, but from go to selling just to immediately to buying, that's what I'm talking about. Not that you've reevaluated the market and then flipped. It's that immediately you lost, then you start to buy. That's the part where you're going to start having issues with trusting the analyst inside of you. That's the trader, or the analyst that looks at the market and say, okay, this is what I think is going to happen. When you are doing that back and forth stuff and you don't understand, especially in the beginning, you're literally setting yourself up later in the future to not trust anything that you say or do in the market. That's the setup that you're, not preparing for, but that's what you're alluding to, or that's what's going to happen. Because, at least that's happened to me. Maybe it doesn't happen to everyone, but that's definitely what happened to me. Like, I would say, okay, I think it's going to go lower. Okay, I'm going to look for lower. And then, like, as soon as I lose, it's like, oh, no, it's going to buy. And it's going to buy. So then you'd be buying and try to make it go up here, and it doesn't even really want to even go up there. Versus if you stuck with your buys going lower, then that's, for me, that's where it looks like it wants to go. Like, I've said that the whole day. Like, I didn't look for buys. Like, I was looking for sells the whole day. I didn't look for anything to buy because I didn't believe it was even going to do that. Yeah, that's probably for another day, another discussion for another day. But I ever appreciate you guys, everyone that hopped out. Again, Tony. Yeah, with tunnel vision, I'm telling you, I think it'll help you in your charts and with the tunnel vision and staying consistent with what you believe. And let's say you have, and like it's gonna help you too. So let's say you can only take 2 trades a day. Let's say that's your rule. You take 2 trades and they're both. Let's say you lose both times, like I've done today. I take 2 trades. I'm done with trading today, but they were 2 trades on the downside that made sense to me. Like, it doesn't matter if they don't make sense to you or to anyone that's on here. As long as they made sense to me and they followed my rules, there's nothing wrong with what I did. Now, it would be interesting if it's different if I'm on here trading, right? I'm on here live trading. And you guys are telling me, oh, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy. And now I'm buying and selling based off what, now there's an issue. Or if I'm buying and selling based off what someone else has told me, because that's literally telling myself that my judgment is not okay. I need judgment from XYZ. And then once they give me insight, then I can now start taking trades. Right? Because ICT always talks about this. You need to get to a point where you feel comfortable taking your own trades, not copying. So once you can have that understanding and that you don't need to copy someone, that you're like, okay, even if ICT doesn't take this trade makes sense to me. That's why I'm going to take this trade. You get to that point, you're good, right? And so I think the tunnel vision, that what kind of teacher, the informed minority, that was the old one, bro. I had to put it back to Picasso, but that was the old one. The informed minority, man. I got to figure out what I'm going to do with that one, but probably nothing there. But it's just like you got to get to a point where you're comfortable taking your own trades. And if you're looking for sales that day and let's say it doesn't even sell, like don't immediately just start jumping to buying, because that's what I did in the beginning, and that messes you up really bad. So take the time, like, okay, well, why did it buy? Like, let the day just go. Don't have to chase it. Okay, why? And then you say, okay, well, why was it a sell day today? Or, sorry, you're looking for sales and it bought. Okay, you would say, like, why did it buy today? How can I look at the market the next time when I see this thing and say, okay, but these are potential buy opportunities, so I'm going to be looking for buys today. Because if you look at today, like the only real buy opportunity that came today was this one. Or if you just magically bought off rip or something. But the only like real opportunity to buy was here at 10.19. So at any other time you tried to buy, you got smoked. Any other time. You had more and better selling opportunities. Like, if you trade turtle soup up there, you have this sell right there, this down here, you have this up here, this in this gap, this here. you have this right here. I was just too early, or not too early. I was not too early. Hindsight, I looked too early, but from what I was expecting, it's there, right? Um, Tony says, cool to see other traders with good mindset and discipline. Nice one today. Oh, appreciate it, Tony. Appreciate it, man. I think what's gonna help you, what's gonna help me, what's gonna help everyone. Because I was listening to something today about Tony Robbins. He was interviewing some, I forget the guy's name, but he was interviewing him, and he kind of said something like, be in rooms where someone is better than you at something, and it doesn't have to necessarily be trading. Like for me, like I played collegiate football, I played stuff like that. So the mindset piece that I have came from playing sports, and the discipline came from playing sports. And the issue that I had was transferring it over from physical activity, like running around. Like I could tell myself if I drop a football, okay, I'm like, cool, next play. But it was hard for me to look at that in terms of trading, be like, because I could just do it right now. It wasn't like I didn't have to wait for the next play, which was like American football. My fault, American football. So when I was playing on the field, it was easy for me to be like, oh yeah, next play. Like that's so easy. But then it was hard for me to transition that to trading, because I could just click the button and a second later, and that was the next trade. But that's not how this works. Like if you're waiting for the next trade, you wait for the next trade. You don't just jump into it because you lost, right? And so like that aspect for me is a little bit easier now once I was able to focus it and put it in the right lane and not have it be so broad. And that's something that a lot of people, for me, at least in my surrounding, have said like that's something I'm very good at, is the discipline and the mindset. But that came through years of playing high level football. Like that's just where it came from, right? So there's things that that you're good at. I'm sure the more that we talk, the more that we hang out, the more that we message and talk, that there's gonna be things that you're gonna help me and teach me that I couldn't do by myself, right? You're just better at that, and I have no problem with admitting that. And so like getting in those rooms and talking with people that are either ahead of you or a little bit ahead of you, doesn't matter how far, but like just have something that is of interest to you, that'll help you expand quicker than anything else. Because now you're seeing how they talk, how they think, how they do this, and you start to become the thing that you're aspiring to be by just communicating with those people. So that's what I like about this. That's what I like about like the good. I don't want to say the good people, and there's not good and bad people, but like the people that are in this industry for a reason, and they're here to like help. And it doesn't necessarily always have to be in terms of technical trading. Like it doesn't have. There's many people out there like that. There's many people that teach about mindset and discipline and all that type. There's all these people that speak about that. But when people are there for you and like you guys are working together in terms of that piece, that's what I think helps elevate each person, in a different level. Because even when I come on here and I'm like, okay, this is what I'm waiting for, and I wait for that, that keeps rewarding the patience and discipline, even though I took 2 trades and they were losses. Who cares? Did I follow my rules? Was I patient enough? Did I just jump into a trade? If all those are no, then I am not upset about what I just did today. I'm happy. Because before, man, I'd be angry after this because it didn't work out how I wanted it to work out. And then, yeah, you know how that goes. That's just not good. So hopefully Tony and Corgi and Teacher, I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'll have to figure out what time. But if y'all could DM me, Teacher, I have you on Instagram. But Corgi and Tony, if y'all could DM me on Instagram or something, I can follow you guys back so we can definitely stay in contact and stuff. I am trying to start a Discord at some point, but not right now. The things have to be fit together and put all that stuff so it's a great experience for you guys. So I'm trying to do all that now so that we can definitely talk more on there and stuff like that. But I definitely appreciate all you guys for hopping on. I'm going to get off at this point. And, yeah, if you ever have any questions or something, you can just DM me on Instagram. And, yeah, we can just chop it up then. But I appreciate you guys. And I will catch you guys tomorrow. I'll let you guys know what time on my story. But it'll probably be in the afternoon. I'll have to figure it out before tomorrow. But I appreciate you guys. I'll catch you guys. Peace out.